6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this morning. Robin, somebody has in the refrigerator right now, I think, at least I saw it the other day, almond milk. Have you seen that almond milk in there?
Oh, yeah. My son drinks that. He loves that.
So somebody here has decided to wean themselves away from dairy milk and go to the... And I've heard that almond milk is really good for you, right?
Oh, my son loves it.
He loves it?
His wife drinks.
Have you tried it?
Time. Yeah, I did when he was here last year. I like it. I think it tastes really good.
Does it have the same thickness, but you know what I mean? The same feel?
Texture is a little different, yeah.
Was it thin like water, like skim milk?
No, not. It's sort of in between.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It tastes pretty good, though.
So it's like 2% milk then?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Well, you know, when I was much, much younger, I went for 3 years without eating meat, considered myself a vegetarian. Then I realized, well, I was eating mayonnaise, which had eggs in it.
Yeah.
I was eating cheese. I never thought of cheese as a non.
That's right.
When I was much younger, but I actually did it for 3 years, and then I moved to California, and there was this great American hamburger place or whatever it was called, and I said, oh man, I gotta have a hamburger.
Yeah.
and you know, ever since then, I've always thought, you know what, maybe I should go back to that. And then there was this new word introduced into our language, which was the word vegan, which meant exactly what I thought a vegetarian was in the first place.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't know enough about it. And from what I understand, no animal products.
Yeah.
That's what Paul McCartney is, right? A vegan or vegetarian?
Exactly.
Vegan, he doesn't eat cheese?
I don't know if he does or not. Him and Linda always were, very adamant about just eating off the land, so they didn't say anything about animals.
Angela Liddon is going to teach us something. She's on the phone right now, and she's going to teach us, not just in this interview, but in her book. Her book is really wonderful. It's called the Oh, She Glows Cookbook.
Yeah.
And I think it would apply to men, too. It is over 100 vegan recipes to glow from the inside out. Angela is a self-trained chef, a food photographer, and there's some nice photography in this book. She's a recipe developer, so we'll find out what that means, and an award-winning blogger. Angela Liddon. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And where are you?
Where am I?
Yeah. Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm actually in the Toronto area.
Oh, in Toronto. All right.
Yes,
well,
yes.
See, that seems like a good place to be a vegetarian, doesn't it? Canada?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
There's a lot of vegan restaurants around here.
So if you were a vegetarian, but not a vegan, could you eat pizza as long as there was no meat on it?
Yes, a vegetarian, you can eat cheese and dairy products on a vegetarian diet, whereas a vegan diet, there's no animal products.
Okay, but in the book, you do have stuff that looks cheesy.
Yes.
I meant that in a good way.
Yeah.
So where was? Here it is. The broccoli and cashew cheese quinoa burrito. That looks pretty good, but there's really no cheese in there.
There's no cheese in there. I use cashew cream, which is just basically soaked cashews, and you blend it up with all kinds of flavorful ingredients, and it makes this really creamy, cheesy tasting sauce, and it's just fantastic as a replacement for a cheese product.
Now, what about sugar? Do you use sugar at all?
I do use unrefined sugar, so things like coconut sugar. It has a very low glycemic index, so it doesn't spike your blood sugar like normal white sugar will.
Oh, okay.
And I like to use a lot of like dates and just natural sweeteners like maple syrup and that sort of thing.
Sometimes cost is an issue for people when they want to eat healthy or try a different eating regimen. How does the cost of being a vegan compare with the cost of just eating meat?
Well, I think it can really fit into a budget for sure. I think there's a misconception that it can be too expensive to eat vegan, and that can be true if you're buying all of these imitation processed convenience foods or you're buying these exotic superfood powders. But when you rely on pantry staples like dried legumes, beans, whole grains, it really is budget friendly.
So tell us about yourself a little bit. What started you on this path, and how long have you been on it?
Well, I struggled with an eating disorder for about 10 years of my life. And so in 2009, I actually started to get on the road to recovery, and I wanted to really redefine my relationship with food. So I started experimenting with vegan recipes that I found online, and I just fell in love with these recipes. They made me feel amazing, and just gave my skin a nice glow to it. And so, since then, I've shared about 500 vegan recipes on my website, Oshi Glows.
So when you say you had an eating disorder, what were you doing that was wrong?
I was starving myself, basically. I was living off of diet foods, anything that was low calorie. That's basically the only food that I really ate, and I just felt miserable and tired all the time. And so when I switched my diet to plant-based, and I started eating all these amazing vegetables and trying out these new ingredients, my energy just went through the roof, and it was just a really important factor in my recovery process.
Do you advocate eating 3 meals a day, or do you split them up and eat 5 and 6?
I usually do smaller meals a day because I just love to eat, and if I can eat more often during the day, I like to do that. So yeah, I usually probably have about 5 meals a day with some snacks. So I'm a grazer. I like to eat frequently.
Well, you look great. That your photos you're in the book. As some
Yes.
people who write books and this type of book, they get models. But you could be a model. So it's good to have you in the book. So we get to see what you look like. And wow, you don't look. You look healthy. So what is the? Let's see. What do we hear sometimes about vegans? That you have to take a supplement because there's not enough of something. Is it B12 or something? What do they tell you, Rob?
B12, I think, yeah.
Yeah, we've heard
It's
this.
B12.
So what is the truth about that? Do you have to take a vitamin pill?
Well, B12, it's not found in the vegan diet. However, it is a bacteria, and the animals get this bacteria through eating plants. So technically, vegans could get B12, but the way our vegetables and crops are grown nowadays, you don't really find the B12 on the vegetables anymore. They're washed off with the pesticides and whatnot. So, I take a B12 supplement. It's very easy. I just pop one a few times a week, and I've had no issues with B12.
Oh, really? Now, what if you didn't know that and you weren't? What if you were self-made vegan and all of a sudden you've gone a long time without B12? What would the health issue be? What would happen without B12?
You might notice that your energy is starting to decrease, and you might be feeling some tingling in your fingers and toes. Like, there's certain signs that you would hopefully pick up on. But yeah, I always say it's important to get your blood tested at the doctor's office and just make sure that you are following a balanced diet. That's why the recipes in my cookbook are so great, because they're very balanced, they're high in protein, and they just pack a ton of vegetables and real whole food ingredients in them.
Is this type of lifestyle good for people that have diabetes or other kinds of issues where they need certain types of foods?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, beans and legumes, they're great for balancing blood sugar levels, as are a lot of vegetables. So I think, yeah, they would be great for people struggling with diabetes. They might want to avoid the dessert chapter, but, I think that this way of eating is really beneficial for a wide variety of different lifestyles.
And how about those with peanut allergies?
Peanut allergies. Yeah, I actually have a lot of allergy-friendly recipes in the book, a lot of nut-free recipes, or I provide nut-free options, so how to swap out the nuts for seeds or whatnot. And there's also over 90 gluten-free recipes in the cookbook as well, so it's great for people who are avoiding gluten and whatnot.
So is everything you eat made by you? You don't ever go get a loaf of bread from the store? Or
Yeah.
Oh no, you can still eat bread. Oh, actually, most bread is vegan. Well, bread that's made the way it should be. It's just flour, water, and yeast, basically. So it is vegan. But yeah, there's so many vegan-friendly products on the market now, and there's a lot of vegan restaurants popping up. So it really isn't that challenging for me to find all of these foods that I want to try out.
The book again is called The Oh She Glows Cookbook. Very clever name. Over 100 vegan recipes to glow from the inside out. Angela Lidden is our guest, and she's the lady who put this book together. Pretty lady, too, as a matter of fact. And one of these pictures reveals that you're married. I see a ring on your finger.
Uh-oh.
Pretty picture of Angela stirring something. See that, Robin, right there? That's a pretty picture of her.
Oh, that's beautiful.
All right, so now that ring tells me I have a question about this guy who you're married to.
Yes.
Is he a vegan, too?
He doesn't eat exclusively vegan, but he does eat a mostly plant-based diet. So he actually loves the recipes that I make, and, you know, he's really just developed a passion for the plant-based recipes as well, and he'll pretty much eat whatever I make. So, you know, I always say if it passes the husband test, then I know it's good, because he's a very tough critic, and yeah, he's very supportive of the recipes, and it's great.
So are there any, let's see, in the course of our days, I'm going to just use me because I don't know that this is true for everybody, but if I'm trying to eat healthy, there are some times of the day when I'm more likely to cave than other times. Does that happen for you at all? I mean, with 5 meals a day, it seems like there'd be no time you would cave, because here comes another meal right around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get the big energy crashes anymore like I used to, and I don't get the blood sugar spikes that often. So I really find that it's helped really regulate my energy levels, and yeah, I just feel pretty balanced the rest of the day. There's exceptions to that. Like, I do a lot of recipe testing, and for example, when I was testing dessert recipes for my book or my blog, you know, I'll be eating a lot of desserts during that time, so that can impact my energy levels if I'm doing a lot of recipe testing. But other than that, I feel pretty good. Since
you're a photographer, are the majority of the photographs of the food in your book yours?
Yes, I did all of the food photography in the cookbook. So there's over 100 photos of recipes, which is great if you're a visual person like I am, and you like seeing a picture for every recipe.
Wow, yeah, they are nice pictures. You really did a good job. So did you do this?
Thank you.
Is this the first time you've done this type of photography, or have you been a food photographer for other people?
No, it's the first time I've done cookbook photography, so it was a huge learning curve for me. I've actually done a lot of food photography on my website, Oh She Glows. So I've done that for about 6 years now, and yeah, I'm just self-taught, and I just absolutely love photography.
So do you do April Fool's Day in Canada?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
I said, do you do April Fool's Day in Canada?
Yes, we do.
All right. So I have an idea for you and your husband. When you wake up tomorrow, say, you know what? I'm changing. I'm going to have a big rib of beef and I'm going to eat lots of meat now. I want to go to a barbecue place.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I think I have played that joke on him before, so I don't know if it would work again.
I'd be curious. Okay, so but what was his reaction? Was his reaction, thank God, let's go eat?
I think he basically just rolled his eyes and was like, yeah, right.
Wow.
What do you think about canned foods? Is the canned vegetables good, or should we just get fresh and frozen?
Fresh and frozen vegetables are always superior to canned. I mean, you know, with canned vegetables, there's the whole BPA issue and whatnot. You can get BPA-free cans now, which is great. But, yeah, I always say fresh or frozen if you can. Get some vegetables from the farmer's market, local, whatever you can.
And how about pasta? How does that fit into the vegan lifestyle?
Yeah, you can totally eat all kinds of pasta on a vegan diet. There's all kinds of different pastas made from gluten-free grains like quinoa pasta or brown rice pasta. So even if you're avoiding gluten, you can still have your pasta and enjoy it.
So of the people who've tried your recipes, do you have any, I guess, success stories is what I'm looking for? People who, for example, lost weight, people whose energy increased, like you said yours did, people who had other issues that maybe reversed themselves, like I don't know if diabetes would even play a role in this conversation, but did you have feedback from people whose health actually changed?
Oh, totally. I mean, as I mentioned, I've been doing my blog for almost 6 years now, and I've had hundreds upon hundreds of emails from blog readers saying that their entire health changed for the better when they started following my recipes. I've had people say that they've used my recipes to get through their cancer, and they've gone into remission for their cancer. So there's been like so many amazing stories that I've heard. A lot of women that struggled with eating disorders have emailed me saying that the recipes help them get through their eating disorder recovery and just find a passion for food again. So I just feel so lucky to be able to share my passion with the world and to inspire other people.
And how about beverages? Because there are so many different beverages out there. How does a vegan know which they should stay away from?
Generally, I love to make my own smoothies and juices. I think that's a great place to start. Every morning I like to throw all kinds of vegetables and greens and fruit into a blender and blend it all up. And, I add some hemp seeds for protein or chia seeds, and it's just a really great drink to include into your diet, no matter what type of diet you eat. And, as for beverages from the store or the grocery store, I generally try to avoid beverages that have a lot of sugar in them, like pops and juices that are just mostly sugar products. But there's a lot of healthier choices out there now. Like, I don't know if you guys have tried kombucha yet, but
No.
It's
What is that?
It's a fermented tea product, and it's just fabulous. It's super low in sugar, but it's carbonated, so it kind of has the taste of a pop. But you should try it sometime. It's great.
Of a pop, that would be soda in our language, right? That was a language translation time, right?
We had pops up in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, Robin's from Wisconsin, so they are Canadianized in Wisconsin. Angela Liddon is our guest, and she's written a wonderful book. It's called the Oh She Glows Cookbook, over 100 vegan recipes to glow from the inside out. And she does glow, not only on the phone, but you look at these photographs and you can see. Let's see. Here's one called Nacho Dip, and that looks like it's filled with cheese. What is that? It's not cheese, though, huh?
Oh, you picked a good recipe. That's actually one of my favorite recipes in the whole cookbook. It's called the Life Affirming Warm Nacho Dip. And I'm telling you guys, you will be hunted down at parties for this recipe. People go crazy over this recipe. It's so it's like a cheesy nacho dip, but there's no cheese in it. It's dairy-free, and it's made with a base of blended cashews, and there's some nutritional yeast in there that gives it a nice cheesy flavor, and all kinds of vegetables and spices. And
Really?
It's just amazing with nacho chips. Oh,
Really?
yeah, people will just go nuts over it at a party.
If it tastes as good as it looks, then I believe you.
It looks great.
It does look really good. And you know what? But that's my weakness. My weakness is these yellow cheesy things, like macaroni and cheese is a big weakness. Mm-hmm. We get Robin and I get these frozen veggie burgers, whatever you call them, right? So we have tried, at least partially to stay away from meat, but then we melt cheese on it.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
So I don't know if we're defeating the purpose. Well, when we had the who was the guy who was recommending only meat? What was that guy's name?
Atkins.
The Atkins diet. Mm-hmm. When we've had the Atkins diet, proponents on the show, I don't know that I could do that. I mean, they're the exact opposite of what you're saying. I mean, they're like all, and they don't eat bread and they don't eat pasta. I think
I mean, it seems very unrealistic to do long term. I mean, I know a lot of people would say that about a vegan diet as well, but I think there's a misconception about a vegan diet that it's too restrictive and it's too limiting. But, what I found is that my diet has much more variety now than it used to have in the past when I used to eat meat and dairy. So, it's forced me to get creative, experiment with new ingredients. And so now I eat so many different foods that I never ate before.
A lot of people use cooking sprays. Do vegans stay away from that too?
Oh, I use cooking spray. I use, it's an extra virgin olive oil cooking spray. I actually get it at Costco. It's like this huge spray container. It lasts forever. But yeah, you can definitely use cooking spray.
All right. We do the show live, Angela. That means our listeners often will call in with comments or questions. And so let's take a call or two. Good morning. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Angela.
Hey, good morning, Angela. I think it's great that you've done so many meat recipes, because even if someone's not going to be 100% vegan, there's so many wonderful foods out there that we're not eating that we could just incorporate into, whatever kind of diet or lifestyle we're living, and then little by little get introduced to these other foods, so at least we do have some kind of more of a balance and alternatives. And I'm going to check out your book. I'm sure a lot of people are. And, I'm using a lot of stevia, which you can even grow in your yard, which has like no glycemic reaction. So I just think all these recipes that you've done are really going to help a lot of people. And we always like to look at pictures, so thank you.
Yeah, right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. You don't have to be 100% vegan to enjoy the recipes in this cookbook. I always say anyone can include more vegetables and plant-based ingredients in their diet, no matter what type of diet you're on. And yeah, it's a great way just to get your feet wet, to try a few recipes, maybe experiment with some different ingredients. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the cookbook.
Well, we have, and I think she made a really good point that it is a good way to kind of ease into a new lifestyle, or maybe you'll never go all the way, but at least it'll cut back on some of the things that are putting cholesterol into your blood. And I would think that this is pretty much cholesterol free. Am I right? Or low?
It is cholesterol free. Yeah, there's no cholesterol in any vegan ingredients, actually. All
right, I actually have a copy of Angela's book. It's a wonderful, beautiful book, and I will give it away to the person who calls to ask for it. The phone number is 622-WOCA. That's the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. The rest of us have to go buy it. Let me give this one away first, and then we'll find out websites. Good morning, you're on the air. Do you want the book?
Yes, I do.
And tell me your name.
Luis.
Luis. Okay, Luis, you know we're at the mall now, right?
Yep, I sure do.
Okay, and the book will be waiting for you.
Thank you. Looking forward.
Thank you, Luis. All right, Angela, real quickly, because we've got to run. What is your website?
My website is osheglows.com, and I have over 500 recipes on there.
All right, excellent. osheglows.com. Go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, go to any of those sites. You'll be sure to find it. Thank you, Angela Lidden. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, hang in there. Fox News is coming right up.
Fox News Radio, I'm Paul Stevens. Deadline day today to sign up for the Affordable Care Act if you don't have health insurance and want to avoid a tax penalty.
More than 6 million Americans have signed up for a health insurance plan through federal and state exchanges. And over this weekend, more than 1 million visitors have logged on to healthcare.gov. A sign last-minute enrollments could surge. Republican critics counter the numbers are misleading, citing millions who were kicked off existing plans.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern in Washington. Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev in Crimea discussing economic development following a Russian takeover. Ukrainian presidential candidate Petro Poroshenko worried about